Hey there, welcome back. If you've seen the first episode, if you haven't, you should go back and watch it. If not, I'll quickly go over what happened. It would be kind of cool if we ran like one of those sitcom reels where previous episode or this happened on previous episode, but don't think we'll do that. I'm gonna briefly go over that, but in the last few days, we've been having some good traction. We've been making some good progress, so I'm just gonna be touching on that real quick, going over that, and this is also going to be filmed throughout the month, and it's November, so you can't really see it now, but maybe you'll see the progression of my mustache and you can just stay along and see just how long it does get throughout the month. But yeah, briefly going into last video, basically just had a lot of learning, watched a lot of YouTube videos, and just tried to figure out what dropshipping was, how to do it, and different steps that we're going to be taking in the progress here. And we met a couple times. We kind of got started, came up with some ideas and came up with some products, did some little product research. But you can go back and watch the other video if you do want to see the whole thing and more detail of what happened last video. And within the last few days, we've been making a lot of good progress where we had a whole list of different products that we might want to go with, and we kind of narrowed down our niche where we want to be in, and we started messaging suppliers. It's our first time doing that, so we kind of found a couple different templates online. We customized them, made them our own, and we each took our own template, started selling, not really selling them. We didn't actually sell them. We shipped them, sent them to the suppliers, and we've been getting a lot of replies. So that's been working really well with that template that we've been sending to them and getting a lot of good replies. We've been getting a lot of good pricing with how much the products are going to be shipped for and just how much they cost. And I think the samples are a little bit more than I think we were expecting. So the plan is basically try and negotiate with them. I heard that you do want to negotiate with them because they do try and highball you a little bit, so you want to negotiate them down. We've been reaching out to as many as possible so we can kind of get that leverage, and we can say this person's given us this amount, and then we can go to that person and just try and get them as low as possible. We already did contact one of them and say, can we get it any lower? And we already shaved off $50 from just the original sample cost from $230. Now it's down to $175, and we have been getting a couple other suppliers reach back to us and their price is at $125. So we're hoping that we can hopefully go back to this person and talk to them, be like, hey, they're offering us $125, can you go any lower? And then basically when we do get a good list of suppliers, we're going to start buying some different samples, and since the samples were a little bit more than we were expecting them to be, we're just going to narrow it down to our top three, choose our top three, get them shipped to us. And another thing that's been kind of slowing us down here is that they've been asking for logos and to put that on just so we have that. And I think it's going to be beneficial for us too if we get that logo to them and then they're able to put that on the product, and then we're actually able to see what our logo looks like on the product, where they put it, how it looks, and just different aspects like that. And also when we do get it, we'll be able to take custom pictures with our logo on it instead of just having a generic picture without a logo on it. So it'll look a little bit more professional, a little bit more branded. So right now we're trying to pick a name, and once we get our name picked, we're going to be working on a logo so we can send that to them. And once we get that sent to them, we're going to be choosing our top three products. And once we get our top three products chosen and shipped, hopefully they don't take too long to get here, we're going to choose our top one, and then we're just going to be moving forward, get our site launched, and hopefully it goes well from there. Okay, first off, just want to touch on the mustache coming in slowly but surely. And secondly, I just want to go back to what I just previously said in a few of my comments there. The first one being, you do want to negotiate with your supplier, but at the same time, you're trying to form a long-term relationship with them. So you don't want to keep going back to them and trying to lowball them and start off on a bad foot. So that's kind of what we did with one of them, but luckily we had been talking to her for quite a bit and we kind of already formed a little good relationship with her, and we were chatting and whatnot. So we did go back to her, we negotiated with her, and she did end up dropping at $50, which is really nice. But then we also had other people that were offering a lot lower, and we did go back to her and say, hey, is it possible to go a little bit lower? And then we kind of were on a good relationship, and I think she was just joking, but maybe she wasn't. She just kind of laughed at us and was like, no way. But that's one thing that I do want to touch on that I previously just said is you do want to negotiate, but at the same time, you're trying to form good long-term business relationships with them. So you don't want to lowball them too much and insult them. The next one being this template that you get from different YouTubers or people selling their courses on a template on what to send to the suppliers. It's a great starting point, but at the same time, you want to customize it and make sure that you are sending stuff that you actually know what it means and know the information, and stuff that you actually have ready to give to the supplier if they ask for it, because that's kind of what happened with us. We just kind of copy and pasted it. We personalized it a little bit to us, but we also included some stuff that we weren't really ready for the questions or answers, because this one girl kept coming back to me saying, can I see your logo? Can I see your logo? Can we get your logo? Just so we can get it on the product, and then we can price it out for you and give you an estimate. So we didn't have a logo, and she kept coming at me. So that's one thing that I would say is, if you are using these templates, they're a great starting point, but I would just make sure that you're customizing it, including stuff that you want to know, and the stuff that is being asked, you actually know what it means, and it's actually information that you are interested in, and they're great starting points. So that's one thing that we didn't really do, I'd say, well enough. There was some good information that we did get back from suppliers, but there was some stuff on there that we probably shouldn't have included at the time, but it did end up turning out well. And then that kind of brings me into the next point. These last few days, it's been really busy, and I wouldn't say it's taken off or anything, but we're taking these small steps in the right direction. And basically what happened in these last few days that I want to kind of get caught up on is, we've placed samples, which is really nice. But I guess before that, logos. We have quite a few logos. I think by the time I release this video, we'll have the logo finalized, so I'll put that up on the screen. I'm not really going to get into the details of what exactly we're selling, what industry we're in. Maybe you can guess what we're selling or what industry we're in just by looking at the logo, and I'm curious to see what you think we're selling and the industry that we're in just by looking at the logo. I'd be pretty curious to see what you do think. And with that being said, getting this logo done was really huge for us. We had a buddy, and he came in clutch. He finished it basically, our first mock-up basically in one day, and then we had a second mock-up because we needed it for different stuff and in different places, and he pretty much finished that within a day. So he's crushing it right now, and he's coming up with some really sweet logos that we're liking. And that kind of brings me into my next point here. We did order a few samples. We ordered, I think, 3 so far, and this product is a lot more expensive than we were expecting it to be just for the samples. When we are buying it in bulk, it's a lot cheaper, but I guess this is how much they charge for samples. So I'm not sure if it's just the industry, the product that we're choosing. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's a little bit expensive. I think we're spending around $500 for these samples. I think it was just 3 of them too. So it's a little bit expensive for just 3 samples, and then hopefully at that point we'll be able to narrow it down to our top choice. I think right now we have 2 of the same products coming in, and then we have 1 separate one, so we'll probably end up choosing one of these, and then at the end, if we do end up liking the other one, we'll also list that on our site as well. So we're just gonna have a different variation of products that we will be selling, so it's not just one product, and it's not a one product store. So that's our main goal with this site, is building out a whole store and a whole brand specific to this niche. So that's our main goal with it. And there's a bunch of different other stuff that we did within the last few days. One of them was coming up with the business name, and that took us a couple days because we were struggling to get that. The person just kept hounding me for a logo, so I was like, okay, we really got to get this down. We got to get our business name and get all that sorted out. We don't have the business name and all that filing done yet, but we should be getting that done shortly. I'm going to look over here just so I don't miss anything. I started the Shopify site, and there's a lot of different apps that we're supposed to be including, and I went through them. The email marketing, there's a lot of automation within that, and that's just a beast. I'm learning a lot there. And same with the SMS bump. I'm going there, learning a lot, setting up some automations there, and I've heard so many good things about collecting not just emails but telephone numbers as well, just so you can not really market to them. You don't really want to market to them too much because then they might just end up stopping, but just having that phone number and being like, hey, there's a flash sale, like, it's going to help out your sales so much. And especially with the abandoned cart SMS text, that's going to help out a lot as well. We also did one for the email automation with the SMS automation. There's just so much stuff in there that we probably barely even scratch the surface with the amount of stuff that we can do there. So we're gonna have to go through there, just set up a whole bunch of different stuff, and that's kind of what I've been working on recently, is just starting everything, and we haven't really gone deep into that. It's just, this is what we're gonna have at the basics, and then we're gonna have to finish those and then after that, then we're going to add different stuff that we might want to add and market for our product and our business. And then next on the list, I don't know if I said this already, but we bought our domain. And then also we started creating different social media accounts that we need. We created a Facebook account, we created an Instagram account, and we created a TikTok account. So hopefully the TikTok account is going to be able to drive a lot of good organic traffic, because I've heard a lot of good things about TikTok and the organic reach that it has. I've been on TikTok before, and it's just insane how much organic traffic that you can get, and there's no other platform that even comes close to competing with it. Like Instagram Reels is close. Well, it's basically TikTok and Instagram Reels. We can just post it on there and post it on here. It's basically the exact same content. So that's the good thing about there. But the amount of reach that you can get on TikTok is just insane. And the community that's behind on TikTok, it's absolutely insane. So we're going to be doing that stuff. I think we need to work on creating the Facebook ads account. Haven't gotten into that. Set up Google Analytics and also the Google Search Console. That's just going to help with different analytics and seeing how people are getting to our website, different keywords that we're targeting. And that's going to be a whole lot of stuff that we need to dive into. I've done a little bit of that stuff at work, so I have some background there, but there's just so much stuff that I haven't even touched there that I'm going to end up learning. So those are going to be whole new projects that I'm going to have to take on and learn. And then yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it. In the past few days, we've just been also watching a bunch of more videos to learn more stuff, because right now we're kind of in limbo where we got to wait for our products to come in. Once we get the samples, we'll be able to test out the products and be like, okay, this is what we're going with, and then start building out the website. And that's going to be probably the next big step that we need to do, it along with getting our business actually filed. So those are up on the agenda, and it's really exciting that we taken these first few steps and getting these samples shipped. We have our logo on the products, so at least one of them. We're going to have multiple ones, so not sure where we're going to be placing different logos and where they're going to be at. So it's really exciting, these first few steps that we're taking, and definitely going in the right direction. Probably spent a little bit more than we anticipated or expected with these first few products samples. So other than that, I think it's going really well so far. All right, so this is going to be the last update of dropshipping so far. Basically, we have all of our sites and accounts set up. So our Facebook, our Instagram, our TikTok, our Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and all that stuff. Next step is going to be learning a lot of Facebook ads. I'm going to touch on the cost that we've spent so far on our samples, and it's been a little bit more expensive than we expected, like I said, but we did reach out to some people, and the people that we reached out to, and it's been really helpful so far just to network with these people that are also going through the same thing, is a group that we ended up joining for drop shippers and just other people that are doing e-commerce type of businesses. So we're able to ask questions in there. People are answering different questions, and that's actually helped us out a lot. So that's just been a really good community and just great networking with these people that are also in the same industry or doing something similar to us, and just being able to get our questions answered there, because that's one of the biggest issues that we've kind of run into so far. It's like we need a coach or a mentor just to answer our tough questions, and that's kind of been that little step that's helped us out a little bit. So I'm going to go over some of our samples. The first 3 samples that I'm going to go over are kind of competing products, and we're going to be picking one of these. So the first one is $125, the second one was $100, and the third one was $175. And this is in USD. They just give your quotes in US dollars, so we are paying in Canadian dollars, so there's a little bit of a conversion fee there, but it would be a lot more complicated if I did Canadian dollars. So I'm just going to go with the US dollars to keep it plain and simple. And 2 of those products are going to be competing against each other, so we're basically going to have to choose between one of those 2 products. And if we do end up liking the second or the third product, we're also going to be able to list that one as well if we do think it's good quality, and we'll list it on our site as well. So it's going to be either we're going to go with one of them, or we're going to go with 2 of them, and 2 of them are just kind of going head to head to see which one we do prefer between those 2. And then we're in the process of ordering a few more samples. We've already got 2 shipped. The first one was $41, and the second one was $66, and the other 2 are going to be within that same range. It's going to be probably I'm gonna get $60 to $80 for the other 2 samples that we're about to get. And with this specific product, the good thing is if we do actually like these products and think they're good, they aren't really the same product. They're pretty similar, but they're not going to be the same product. So if we do end up liking, say, 3 of them, we're going to be able to list all 3, whereas in the other one they're directly competing with each other, where it's whichever one has the best quality we're going to be going with it. This one, it's same product but different, if that makes sense. So that's what we're going to be going with these ones. So we could have a max of 4 of these products, so all of them on our site. Or if we just only like 1 of them or 2 of them, we're just going to stick with that 1 or 2 and put those ones on our site. So it's going to help us differentiate ourselves to not just have 1 product on our store. And that's kind of like one thing that I'm not a big fan of, and not one thing that I want is just having that 1 product in our store. So this is going to be good for us just to have multiple products on our store, just so we can cross-sell, upsell, and try and get those different sales there and have a higher cost per transaction. So you kind of want to maximize that as much as possible. And we have one more expense, which is 20 Canadian. So we'll approximate to about $15, and that's for our domain that we bought. And our total so far is $522. I think the math's right there. So it's not a crazy amount, but I mean, it's not obviously like $50. This is going to get you your whole site and you're going to have your products there. We did spend a little bit, and majority of that cost is from those samples. So that's what we spent so far. One thing that I would recommend with contacting these suppliers is having WhatsApp, or I don't know, any other outside platform to message them on. The people that we have on WhatsApp are a lot more responsive, and you're able to get a lot more done, communicate with them a lot better compared to actually being in Alibaba and just communicating through their messaging system. It's just a lot easier to take it off WhatsApp. So that's one thing that I would really recommend you doing if you do decide to do drop shipping or try and talk to suppliers. So some different questions that have come up that we're gonna hopefully have answered by the next video that comes out is having an agent, because we've heard a lot of good things about having an agent, and we don't know how, but some random person contacted my business partner through WhatsApp, and we're not really sure how he got the number or anything. He's just like, hey, I'm an agent in China, I can help you out. So it seems a little fishy on how they got the number, and they are obviously out there looking for business. So we're gonna try and find an agent and figure that out. Another thing that came up is import fees, because we're importing from China, how that works, if we have extra expenses there or different stuff like that. And also the MOQ, it kind of seems like it's not really drop shipping when we're putting our logo on our product, because it seems like you have to buy, say, 500 minimum, and then I don't know if the fee comes before or after, or if you're able to do it, get an invoice at the end of the month, or how that works. But that's one thing that's kind of confused us, and this group has helped us a little bit where we're able to ask these types of questions. So these are just some of the questions. And the other question that we've been kind of going back and forth on, in Canada, you can't form an LLC. So we've been kind of deciding on what kind of business we're going to form. So hopefully we'll have these questions answered in the next video that comes out. And we're currently kind of in limbo waiting for these samples to come in, because we can't really do anything with the site. We can get it a little bit prepared, but we don't really have any photos for samples. We don't know which products we're going to be putting on our website. So we're kind of in limbo right now. So we're going to get this out. Hopefully we're going to have a lot of content for the next video. Hopefully we'll have our samples in. Maybe we'll do some product photography or videography and get those set up to where we can put these on ads for Facebook or just content for our website. So hopefully we'll be able to update you a little bit there and the stuff that we're doing with that stuff. And that's pretty much all that's going on so far. We're waiting for these samples to come in. I'm hopefully going to be able to place these last 2 orders for our samples and get those shipped in. The 4 samples that we're shipping like today, and I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, they're coming in a lot faster than the first 3 that we ordered. The first 3 are going to take probably around a month, and these are going to take probably around 2 weeks. So that's really good to see. And hopefully by next video, we'll have a bunch of updates for you, some good progress with our website, ads, just different stuff there. And we'll inform you on how it's going so far. And hopefully we'll be up and running, and hopefully we'll be having some sales. But that might be a little ambitious just because of how long these shipping times take for these samples, so not really sure how much longer it'll be before we can actually get our site up and running with some sales, our Facebook ads running. But if you've enjoyed this journey so far and want to keep up to date with how the business is going, and maybe you're running your own business or starting your own business and you want to stay up to date and ask different questions, maybe if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or maybe if you have some answers for me down below, that would be greatly appreciated. So be sure to subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram. Still don't post much on there, but if you do want to follow me, you can follow me on there. And as always, thanks for watching, and let's level up.